Hello everyone and welcome back to another Minecraft update video. Wow, the game has never looked quite like this before. I mean, at least officially. Here we are seeing the vibrant visuals that were announced at the recent Minecraft Live event. They are now available to try on the preview edition of the game, and as we get this video going, I just wanted to turn them on and have a look around because the focus of this video are the new Happy Ghast, Dried Ghast, and Ghastling. But first things first, today is a Thursday, which is not a regular day for getting an update. Usually we get our Minecraft snapshots on a Wednesday, but this is no joke. Snapshots are now being moved to a Tuesday release. Like I said, it's not a joke. And Snapshots actually used to be released on Thursdays a long time ago, and they were moved to Wednesdays in 2014. And yes, today is Thursday. This is also not a snapshot. We're on Bedrock edition of the game, checking out the latest Minecraft preview. So I think Mojang are just changing things up, what with the crazy couple of weeks we've had with Minecraft Live and then the April Fool's snapshot. That's right, we've got a whole new way to play the game. This snapshot is incredible. I've done a video covering it, and I'll remind you again that you can still get the Yearn cape. So check out this one right here if you want my tips on how to unlock the cape. And of course, if you're subscribed to the channel, then you'd already be in the know with these videos. Thank you for considering doing that, and let us now turn off these vibrant visuals. We'll come back to them later on in the video. It's time to check out the ghasts. So today, Minecraft Preview 121.80.25 was released for the second game drop of this year. And in order to play this yourself, you'll need to enable the Drop to 2025 experimental toggle. You can do that when creating a new world. If you go to the bottom of the menu for experiments, there will be a gameplay option called Drop to. You need to enable that to get this in your world. I'll also mention this is the same way that you get vibrant visuals. You have to turn it on in this experimental parts when creating a world. So with our game drop content enabled, we can check out the dried ghast. Look at that weird little block. It's like cute ugly. I've been flying around in spectator mode for about 10 minutes, which means I can really whiz around the world, teleport to these biomes, and I found 4 of these never fossil structures. All of them have been incomplete, and none of them have had a dried ghast. This, to me, suggests the rarity might be relatively high. But if you were to find one, supposedly one of these dried ghasts would just be sitting here under the never fossil. The block gives off some particle effects, and to mine it with your fist, it's an instant break. Now, if rarity is a concern, there is another way to create this block, which is simply to craft it. You put a bone block in the middle, you surround it with ghast tears, and that way you can craft a dried ghast. Now, if you saw the Minecraft Live event, you'll know what you want to do next is bring this back to the overworld and hydrate your dried ghast inside of water. Once you have it contained, it'll make these green particle effects above it, and on occasion, it'll also make sounds too. These are dependent on its growth stage, and apparently it has 3 over the course of 20 minutes. I'm not sure if we have the tools to speed up that process here on Bedrock though. Oh, I can use commands to access its rehydration level. Oh, look at this. Its face has changed. This is level 0. This is level 1. Here we have level 2. And notice how the tint, the color of the ghast is starting to change. The sounds they're making are also different. And here is level 3. We're starting to see a smile. That is so cute. Right, and level 4 isn't a thing, so after a certain amount of time, this one will turn into a ghastling. We're going to use a ghastling spawn egg to bring one into the world. One thing I'll point out, if we break this, it instant breaks, but it goes back to being a regular dried ghast. Oh, this might not be so straightforward because we've got a ghast spawn egg and a happy ghast spawn egg, and those are actually the 2 entity types. So I'm guessing maybe it's a happy ghast with some sort of age tag that turns it into a ghastling. So I stepped away from my computer for a little bit, and now we got ourselves a ghastling, and he's so cute and adorable. Goodness me, that is a really pleasant sight. Now, while it's in this state, we have 20 minutes before it'll grow into an adult happy ghast, and we can speed up this process by feeding it snowballs, which also attracts it to us too. But if I just stand here idle, it won't get too far away from me, and that's because it is attracted to certain types of entities within a 16 block radius. So I'm going to start wandering in this direction, and this fella should come along with us. Of course, we could do this with holding a snowball, but we can also do it without. Now, the Ghastling is also attractive to non-aquatic passive mobs, like a pig, for example. And of course, they don't want it following something that goes underwater, because then the Ghast would go underwater as well. So I've traveled away just to demonstrate that the Ghastling off in the distance there is following a mob. And apparently it will also follow some neutral mobs, and the blog says that it will follow an adult, which I think means a happy Ghast. And when it can't find any entity nearby that it wants to follow, it'll simply head back to the place of its birth, which was over here. And I also think it prioritizes the player over other entities. Yeah, they definitely prioritize the player. So after about 20 minutes, these will turn into a happy Ghast, and there is a lot that we need to learn about this amazing new mob for flying around in the overworld. So first of all, this mob is tempted towards the player by two things. One is a snowball. Now it's coming towards us. And the other thing is a harness, as long as it already isn't equipped with a harness. The recipe for this consists of leather across the top, glass either side, and then a wool block of your color in the middle to get that color of harness. More information about the harness quickly. You can re-dye it into a different color, like so. It can only be equipped onto a happy Ghast, not a regular Ghast or any other mob. And to get rid of it, you use shears to get your saddle back. Sorry, harness. I literally knew I was about to say the wrong word. Now, the way I read the blog post almost suggests that you can actually get onto the Ghast when it doesn't have a harness, but as far as I can tell, that's just not possible. The only way to ride this thing is with a harness. All right, let's go ahead and equip you. You can see that our reach distance is extended a little bit for the happy Ghast. When we get onto this thing, it'll put down its goggles because it's now in flight mode. And you'll also notice that our F5 camera has been zoomed out so that we can see the whole of the happy Ghast. Now, to ride this thing, you simply hold down forward and look in the direction that you want to go. It is kind of slow, but I think that's part of the point of the happy Ghast. It's no replacement for the elytra. It's a slow method of transport, but it's a communal method. You can have up to 4 other players join you on the happy Ghast. Now, I've got Chimera, who's joining me in this world. And when they sit on the Ghast, they go in the next clockwise slot. So 4 of us sit on the 4 sides. Also, when I turn around to look at my friends, then the Ghast turns around and they like disappear. It's kind of weird. Now, if I want to get off the Ghast, I hold down shift and that puts me in the middle. And now Chimera is the driver. Okay, next what we're going to do is go high up. You can see my friend is actually staying on the Ghast. Even as I move around. Oh, and then they've taken a seat. Oh, and Chimera confirmed that they had to click to stay on the Ghast. So they did fall off the edge, which is what it looked like. All right, here we go. This time I'm going to try and stay on the Ghast to get a feel for what it's like. So yeah, I'm currently walking with it. And its speed means that you can kind of stay with it, right? Like it's a similar speed. It's not difficult. But then if I let go, yeah, I just fall off. This time I'm going to hold shift. And I still fall off. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but I think holding shift to stay on top of it like you would with a block, as I'm demonstrating here, seems like a good idea. There could be a reason it's not. Okay, now what I'm going to do is dismount and deliberately go down to the ground, because what it should do is then come down towards us. Okay, it's doing that after our friend has jumped off the Ghast as well. So this is one of its behaviors. When you leave it, it will then descend down to the ground to find you again. All right, next up, something a little technical about the Ghast. The place at which you last interacted with it becomes its home position. The Ghast behavior is then to idle within a 64 block radius of that position. Now, if it's wearing a harness, that distance gets reduced to 32 blocks. So 64 is for the one without harness. And it will also try and stay close to blocks when it's idling, which I think is why it's like lingering down here towards the ground. Let's go over some other details about this mob. It has no panic behavior when it takes damage. So it just continues on its normal course. It also has 20 hearts of health, which is double what the player has. And this is a bug, and it's going to be reduced to have the same amount of health as the player. It also slowly regenerates its health. So after it takes some damage, it will actually heal some of that back. And the rate at which it regenerates is actually sped up by rain, which I think is a really nice little detail. There's also no way to breed two of these together to make another. The process is via the dried ghast and the ghastling. You won't be able to get them inside of a boat. And I'll go ahead and guess the same is probably true of a minecart. Well, that's why we test things. You can actually get them in a minecart. Huh, that's cool. I guess you can get regular ghasts into a minecart, so why not? Last of all, they are immune to speed. So I got a speed 2 potion right here, but it won't affect the ghast. Let's hop on. And its movement speed is the same as before. The last thing I want to talk about with this mob is something that it's going to take some time to get used to and experiment around with. Probably learn some best practices and ways to fully take advantage of this. But it'll be a useful tool in building, right? It'll allow you to fly up to high places and start building and get around your builds in a different way. I'll be experimenting and probably reporting back in the future on that one. So yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel to catch future content about these ghasts. And speaking of the ghast texture has been updated. Whatever they've done here, I think it's rather subtle, because I was first thinking about the gills on the side of the ghast, but I went and looked it up and they have always been there. So maybe it's just had a couple of touches up here and there. Okay, I've now teleported far, far away so that we can have another look at the vibrant visuals. These need to be enabled when creating the world through the experiments tab, but once you've done that, you also have to turn it on. So you go into settings, into the video tab, and scroll down to the very bottom. So graphics mode, vibrant visuals, and then you can favor performance or visuals or go custom. I am going to roll with default and refrain from giving too much of my opinions because this is in an early state and we're just seeing it for the first time. It definitely looks interesting. Since we've already seen this at Minecraft Live, I figured that we would just teleport around to a couple of different places. And that includes changing the time to night, which really has quite a different feel to it. It's also really dark until you get some contrast in front of you. Oh, and over here, perfect. We've got a village with some luminosity here from the light sources. I gotta say, this feels very warm and cozy in the nighttime here. Wow, the Nether looks even more dangerous than usual. And dude, a heck of a lot darker. This is almost like horror game vibes. And night vision doesn't really help the issue, strange enough. I mean, the visibility is just awful with this on. Yeah, this feels like it needs a lot of work. All right, then we have the end dimension, also with night vision. Oh, okay, that suddenly just changed. And then it changed back again. Huh. Here's what it looks like with no night vision at all. Very dark at the moment. Oh, and there's that mysterious light source coming back again. What is going on? Coming back to the overworld, I really like this effect down here under the water. I initially thought that these were magma blocks when I saw them from underwater. And notice how these shaders are like pixel aligned. So if we get a couple of shapely blocks here, they're pixel aligned shadows. Like me, the player, I'm also pixel aligned, right? Anyway, we saw a lot of this at Minecraft Live, so I won't go on for much longer. Which I guess means we've reached the end of this video, so leave a like to support it and subscribe if you want to catch more content like this in the future. Thanks for watching, peeps. Of course, let me know what you think of the new ghasts down in the comment box below, and I'll see you soon in another one. Bye-bye.